Hello, my name is Mara Jane, and you're listening to The Unseen Perspective. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Unseen Perspective. I am your host, Mara Jane, and today is a very special episode because I just got back from my very busy weekend, which was spent at the Kansas State School for the Blind, and I was a team mentor for my third Make48 competition. So today I'm going to be talking all about what Make48 is and what my experience has been with them. So what is Make48? Well, Make48 is an invention competition that is televised on national TV. Teams have 48 hours to invent, design, and build a working prototype for a new product based on certain criteria. So this includes coming up with the idea and designing a logo and obviously advertising and making the prototype itself. While teams don't actually craft the physical side, at least most of it, of the prototype, that's why we have tool technicians to build and craft things like that for the teams so that we don't have to operate dangerous equipment or do things that we're not really experienced in doing or skilled at. So like I said, this past weekend was my third Make48 competition. So my first was also at the Kansas State School for the Blind back in 2023. It was the summer, it was June. So what we had to build for that competition was basically an accessible toy or game. So what my team built, and I can talk about this now because our episode is out, which you should totally watch, we made a sort of cube that you could put a maze on top of it and go through the maze with a magnet, basically. And it was a cube, so you could store other maze maps below in the cube. And it was called Magna Maze. Yeah, very catchy. So we got second place, so we moved on to nationals, and that was in November of 2023, and I can't really talk about that much because the episode hasn't come out yet. But both of these were a really cool experience. Like I said, the first one was at the Kansas State School for the Blind, and nationals was in North Little Rock, Arkansas. So I got to go on a little road trip with my KSSB friends and another team that won first place at the first competition. But my first Make48 at the Kansas State School for the Blind actually wasn't the first one that they did there. So back in December of 2022, they did another one. That was their first one at KSSB, but I could not attend because I had a choir workshop that Saturday that I had to go to. And to be honest, I don't think I really wanted to attend because I didn't really know what it was, and it sounded kind of daunting or like weird or lame or whatever. But I ended up having to do it as a part of the summer program at KSSB in 2023. And so I was dreading it a whole lot. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this crap? Like, I don't want to do this. I didn't sign up for this. This sounds really stressful. And it was really stressful, but it ended up being a really cool experience, which I think is the best when you're kind of dreading something and it ends up being really awesome. Which actually, I didn't love my first Make48. I mean, I did in a way, but it was very stressful, and I said at the end, like, yeah, that was cool. I got to meet new people and do fun things, but I don't really want to do it ever again. And so winning kind of stressed me out because I was like, oh no, I have to go to nationals. But then nationals ended up being really, really cool, and I kind of fell in love with Make48. So this past weekend, I decided to go back, and, well, actually, I was invited back to be a team mentor. So what I did was just kind of went around and saw what like the teams needed, answered questions, gave some advice based on my past experience, and I also got to shadow the film crew. So that was pretty cool because I have an interest in like a career in filmmaking. So that was really awesome, and they were all super nice. But they even let me use one of their cameras, which was really cool. So that whole experience kind of fueled my interest in the whole filmmaking industry. So I'm really grateful to everyone who was involved this weekend who gave me those opportunities. Obviously, I knew a lot of people from Make48 from my previous competitions, and I mean, I love them all. They're really, really cool people. Tom and Amy, for example, they are the um, co-heads of Make48. So they're both super awesome. Tom and Amy Gray, they're the CEOs, and it's always a treat to see them. Even before I really knew that I loved Make48, I knew they're just super good people, and they're so kind, and I just love working with them. Also, all the tool techs and whatever, even other teams, like, it's just so cool to meet everyone and see new faces, see familiar faces, and just interact with people that you don't usually get to interact with, who are from all different backgrounds, who have all different experiences and skills, whether they're visually impaired or sighted or whatever. It's super awesome. There's nothing like it. So, going back to my first Make48 competition in June of 2023, like I said, it was a very stressful experience. I remember Friday, which is the first day, wasn't so bad. Like, we just came up with our idea, and then that was kind of it. We all thought it was a good idea, so we decided that we didn't need to do anything for the rest of the night, which made Saturday a really long and really stressful day, because there was a lot to do, because we had to make our sales sheet, plan our pitch, make our video, obviously get the prototype made, and come up with logos, names, just all that stuff. So I remember it being like a 14-hour day. It was it was really exhausting, but it was really cool because I loved to work, like, get to meet new people and work with those new people on inventing things, which is something that I have found that I enjoy and am good at, I think. I mean, I must be, because we got second place and we made it to nationals. But yeah, it was really cool to meet my team and get to know them, my team captains. So it was really cool. And then Sunday, we obviously finalized our video, practiced our pitch, did some final items, and then the clock stopped around 11:30, and then we got a little time off, and then we pitched our idea, because this is something you have to do for every Make48 competition. We pitched our idea to a panel of 3 judges, along with our 1-minute promotional video that we made. We also presented that. And so behind the judges is all the other teams, the tool techs, whoever else is there in the audience. So we give about a 4-minute pitch, plus that video, and then the judges interrogate us. They ask us questions about our product. So that was a little daunting, but honestly, I think it was a good experience. And I like to think I'm pretty good at public speaking, so it wasn't too bad, but it was definitely a little scary. But yeah, then we waited a little more, and we found out that we got second place, and it didn't feel real. It was so strange. I can't describe to you the feeling that I had when I found out that we won, or we got second place. It was surreal. So then obviously I got really anxious about nationals, and I was like, I don't want to go, like, I don't want to do this the second time. Like, yes, it was cool, it had its moments, but I don't want to do it again. But I did, and it ended up being really, really awesome. We all piled in a van and went to North Little Rock in November, and that was an interesting drive. Our team name, I guess I haven't mentioned this, our team name was Nuts and Bolts. We also went with another team called DN Awesome, and I kind of knew, or I maybe knew of the people on that team, but I didn't really know them. So that was a good opportunity to get to know them on that trip, which was really cool. Lydia, who is the head of the makerspace at KSSB, Lydia Moreno, she also went with us, and Miss Vicky, also from KSSB, And so it was also cool to get to hang out with them and have a little girl bonding. But yeah, I mean, nationals too was pretty stressful, but it, I mean, I think it was worth it. It was kind of a good kind of stress. Like, I felt like I was actually making an impact and doing something important, and I was getting to meet new people and form relationships and network, which made me feel like I was really preparing for my own future, not just the future of other people. So that was, I mean, that was great. And like I said, I can't really talk about it that much yet because our national episodes haven't come out yet, but we had a really cool theme and really cool criteria, I guess, for that competition. And the Makerspace, it was the Innovation Hub, the AR Innovation Hub in North Little Rock, was super, super cool. I loved working there. It was just awesome. So after nationals, I kind of realized that, hey, Make48 is actually really cool. So I was invited back to be a team mentor for the next KSSB competition, and I was so excited for it, and it just ended, and now I'm sad because it's over. But I'm hoping to help out more in the future because I've had a lot of fun. Even though the road has been rocky at times, I would say it's all more than worth it. And like I said, the people there are just amazing. I feel like I've met so many cool people there, and I formed so many good relationships there. And whenever I leave, I miss it so much, and I have to go back to school, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of that Make48 withdrawal. And also, people that I already knew before, kind of, or knew of, I get to know better, which is really cool. And this Make48 was especially cool because KSSB actually didn't compete in it. We hosted, and 6 schools of the blind from across the nation sent representative teams to compete. So I got to meet blind people from all over the country, which is super awesome. And I mean, I worked with a lot of cool people, not only like the tool techs and the workers, but also the fellow teams. At nationals, there was also a lot of cool people on the other teams that I talked to and interacted with. It was just a super cool environment, and I think usually it is this super cool environment of, yes, we are competing to win, but also it's not like a super bitter environment. We're all kind of working together in a way, and so we can cooperate with one another and be friends with one another, and it's not at all toxic or ill-intentioned, at least in my experience. But yeah, I mean, Make48 in general and my experience with it has been so great. I want to give another shout out to Tom and Amy Gray. I love them dearly. And obviously all the tool techs and the film crew and the other teams that I've worked with. I mean, all of the people at Make48 have, I think, formed me into a better person. And the experience itself, obviously, it was great, but it wouldn't have been as good, nearly as good, without the people that put it together. So this Friday, I'm actually going to release an episode with Lydia, who I mentioned earlier. I interviewed her, talked with her on Sunday, and we recorded an episode, so that'll be coming out on Friday, so get excited. And obviously, she'll have more insight on KSSB and Make48, so that'll be super fun. I love her dearly as well, and I can't wait for you all to meet her, or whatever you would call that, and hear from her and hear what she has to say. But for now, I think I've said about all that I can say. I mean, I can rant forever about Make48 and how cool I think it is and how awesome it is, but we don't have all the time in the world, so I'm going to sign off for today. If you have any questions, you can email me at theunseenperspective2024@gmail.com. Please follow us on Instagram at theunseenperspective2024, and follow us on Spotify and YouTube. Just search The Unseen Perspective, And for another great resource on what it is like to be visually impaired, especially if you're into podcasts, is the KSSB podcast. So discover podcasting at KSSB. You can follow them on Instagram at KSSB Podcast, and you can tune in to their podcast wherever you get your podcasts. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you'll tune in for later episodes and enjoy them even more. But for now, bye! Thanks for listening.